Good afternoon and welcome to Unscripted and Unchained. And in this episode, I am going to do a box set opening of Pirates and Plunder, an RPG made back in the early 1980s, I think around 1982 or 83. It's by Yaquinto Publications, and it's kind of an impromptu video. I was really quite surprised to get this in the mail today. I had purchased this game on eBay for $20 and then paid about a $13 shipping cost for it. And when they said, or when I purchased it from Was Gene 683, and so so definitely a shout out to that eBay user because not only was the shipping extremely fast. I mean, literally within 3 days it's on my doorstep, but the condition of the box and of the books is was by far outside of my expectations. I was expecting it to be good, but not as good as it actually came. So I just even though the picture is up there, so this is Pirates and Plunder. Like I said, it was a game that came out. Actually, it says here 1982. So it might have actually hit the shelves around 83. And it's a game I remember. I remembered it in comparison to Dungeons and Dragons at the time, in that the combat was much more severe. You know, the systems itself were just a little bit more dangerous. You had to be more careful. Some of it's a very clunky system as far as there's a lot of numbers to crunch. There were a lot of charts and graphs and a lot of various dice rolls and everything to do. But in even putting that aside, it was a lot of fun to play during the time. So let's take a good look at this. So the box. So as you could see the little dent over here, right here, and that was one of that was in a description. He said that the box itself has a little bit of bowing, and somewhere, but really on the corners, there's very little wearing. Let me try to angle this better. Very little wearing, on the box itself. And like I said, for $33, that was really, something I was not expecting to be in that kind of condition. So opening it up, you can see the interior of the box. It's still in excellent shape. Now, first thing I noticed is the dice. Let's see how I can show these to you. So here are the dice, and just in comparison, I mean, you put it next to a more modern D20. So those are two D20s. Back in the day, they didn't, color in the numbers at all, and they were really, really small. But I'm, elated at the fact that the original dice are actually here. So that was another surprise. This here is book one. All right, so the basic game, and again, you could see along the edges of the book. I mean, this thing was not opened. It was not used. So the book itself is pristine, I would say, and the game itself was designed by Michael Metheny, or Michael S. Metheny. And so the first booklet contains the basic rules. And just to show you, I mean, some of the art in the book is actually quite good. And the the font and the letters, the writing in it is very dense. It is a very rulesy system to go on. So just to flip through the table of contents of the first book here, which you can see, I mean, that is cram-packed with rules and the character sheet starts off with the character stats, name, height, weight, encumbrance, agility, movement, stealth, vision, hearing, senses, constitution, stamina. Deals with wounds, weapon training, to hit numbers, nationality, intelligence, language, and religion. Use the percentile dice for your rolls. Continuing on, so there's the rules, the different types of rules. There's the first strike round, there's hit location tables, there's fist fighting rules, hand-to-hand combat result tables, stuns and wounds, stunned and wound points, recovering from stuns and wounds, fist fight movement against, fighting against odds, the advanced game information, basic rules for sword fights, how a single turn is played, swordsmanship combat results, wound location for swordsmanship combat, new character abilities of stealth, courage, general rules of time, movement, stealth, silent killing, missile fire, reloading, throwing, advanced adventure, and there's an advanced adventure in this first book. So again, very, very dense. Although it is short, I mean, this is only about 42 pages of rule book. Yeah, about 42, 43 pages of the first rule book. I'll set that aside. So book 2 is the advanced game, and once again, unopened, unused. And here, we'll see the table of contents here, and this is the index of the rules from book 1 and 2. So here they show you a complete index, of all of the rules. Let's try to angle this right. And introduction to the advanced rules of playing, notes on game mastering, and they go through filling in the hills of adventures. This looks more like the everything table. I like that. The everything table. So totally impossible, nearly impossible, incredible difficulty, extremely difficult, very difficult, difficult, slightly difficult, below average, 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 above average, fair, good, very good, excellent, superb, easy, can't miss. That's the 2 to 20 rolling possibilities. And if you're a minus 14, that is a nightmarish circumstance, and a plus 14 is fantastic, and everything in between. So the everything table includes encounters and happenings. So basically, it's the possibilities of whether it be combat or encounters. And just flipping through the rule books, they talk about ranged weapons and advanced rules for range of thrown weapons and such. So it looks like it's taking just the basic game rules and expanding it. Now, it's been well over probably 35 years since I've played this game, so it's going to be a lot of fun to get back into it. Looking at a rule here, so they have, while mounted, they have firing arcs and melee arcs for mounted combat. So, like I said, there's a lot of rules, And like most RPGs, you can always go rules light if you wish, and that's probably something that I'll look to do. Now, getting to book number 3. So this is book number 3, The Adventures. And here I'm assuming it's going to be there's there's at least one remaining episode to Spanish character combat statistics. It looks like it's one big adventure. So this is an adventure module, and they do have some NPC rules in it. Again, very, very compact writing and a lot of information for it. And let's see if we get to, yeah, these are all the encounters for, so this main thing, quicksand table. All right, so there's quicksand rules. All right, and we'll see if we get to, so the most used charts and tables. So here we have something that will most likely make a copy of it and then create my own Dungeon Masters or GM's shield or screen for it. Only 2 pages, so that's clearly not a problem. I mean, so this right here is your GM screen. So 2 pages of rules to keep track of. Now, it also has the original packet of maps, and this here is a countryside map of dense jungle, open jungle, swamps, dense swamps, a marsh, a village, and a fort. All right, so that's this map here. Like I said, all original, all still, the perforation is still very tight. Nothing has been removed from the, from the booklet. The booklet has not, or doesn't appear to have been, opened up. And so you can see there's the fort model, and, some more terrain maps. And then finally, some interior extra character sheets, the mass combat sheet. So someplace in the rules there was a mass combat. And let's see, the dice in this game are genuine, authentic game science brand high impact dice, which are guaranteed to survive at least 2 years of normal wear. That's interesting. So there's an arm wrestling sheet, mass combat sheets, extra character sheets, and some other things. So there's even arm wrestling rules. That is kind of interesting. Now, what really surprises me is that here is the character sheets. And this booklet of character sheets looks completely intact. So I'm feeling along the edge to see if you feel that edge when you pull off a sheet and the glue edge, and it is still smooth. So unless the sheets come, remove, perfectly without leaving that edge, I don't think that any of these character sheets have ever been detached, and I'm certainly not going to. So what I'll do is I'll make a copy on this side and then on the back side, and then I'll have a full character sheet without ever having to compromise the integrity of the pack. And then there's the February 1st, 1982 publications advertisement sheet. And so can actually look through and, see what other games, and I'm certainly going to take a look at some of these and see if any of them will, be something that I'd like to add to my collection. So once again, for $20 on eBay, and then with the $13, shipping and handling cost for $33 in this condition, I'm really, really happy with this purchase, and I am going to continue, pursuing the new aspect of my hobby, and that is to continue to collect some of these box editions of role-playing games from the early 1980s, and particularly games that I have played before. So even though I have some games in PDF, now I'm going to start searching for and trying to build up my collection of. I think when it's all said and done, I'll probably have about 15 to 20 role-playing games from that era in box sets, and on my shelf for future use. I'm definitely going to be rolling these games out, and doing some runs with them on OSG. That's the on-screen gaming Facebook community, and we'll definitely be putting up the videos here on Unscripted and Unchained on my YouTube channel. So once again, very surprising to get this, and as always, have a good time this weekend, and happy gaming.